question.
I have a number of questions for the staff. So shall we go around, or how would you like to do it? Well, first of all, I want to thank the number of speakers who came down on short notice to talk to us. Your comments are important to me, and on that basis, I'd like to ask the staff a number of questions, and then I have a couple of comments. With regard to the notification and the 24-hour emergency meeting that we called, can the city attorney confirm that this is within legal protocol?
As a clarification, this is not an emergency meeting. This is a special meeting under the Brown Act. Public agencies are allowed to call special meetings with 24-hour notice. To my knowledge, there's not any subject matter that is restricted from a special meeting, and as posted, on its face, we believe this could be a valid meeting. We've gotten a number of emails alleging, violations of the Brown Act. We will look into that issue, and if the board decides to take any action today, we will advise them whether or not they need to take any action to rescind, or whether we believe the action is taken will be valid. So, on its face, we believe that it's a proper subject matter for a special meeting, not an emergency meeting.
Thank you. And for the staff, there has at least one speaker said that somehow our work program would be rolled into this, in taking this action would be rolled into the city budget, and that the city money will be used to fulfill this work program. Is there any, can you speak to that, please?
Mr. Chair, I'll take my next word. Mr. Chair was saying, under the structure of this agreement, there is no city money that would be used to implement any of the redevelopment efforts that are in the cooperative agreement. The cities would implement the program. Its obligation to implement the program is limited to the dollars that it receives from the redevelopment agency.
Thank you. And the third question is that at least one speaker asked if somehow that we are prioritizing this list of projects at the last minute without any public process or decision. Now, my understanding is that the list of projects that you staff have put together are pulled from all of the 5-year implementation plans over the last few years, and the actual projects that are in the pipeline, and that all of the activities you're proposing to enter into an agreement with the city of LA have been thoroughly vetted, thoroughly noticed, thoroughly discussed over the last number of years. Can you confirm or clarify my understanding about this part of the process?
That is correct, but those projects all came from the 5-year implementation plans and from the budgets that the board and council have approved.
Is any project on this list been added on within that last week or 2 weeks?
So
Sure. We looked at all the implementation plans, there's 31 implementation plans, and we selected the projects from there. We actually do have dollar amounts, and we have a list that has dollar amounts for more specificity. We asked the regions to confirm that list. They added the projects that were in their pipeline based on the budgets and the review of those budgets. And my understanding is that those budgets were reviewed at the CAC level and the PAC levels prior to the budget formations.
And the CAC and the PAC are the Citizens Advisory Committee and
Yes.
the project area committees, and each of the 32 redevelopment areas have either a CAC or a PAC, and these local entities have reviewed and approved the projects over the last number of years.
Correct. And let me just clarify that under the cooperation agreement, the city would take on the obligations, whether it takes it on directly or through a succession entity, to implement the program, which means that any approvals or any differences in the project, any economic feasibility issues around the project would be vetted publicly prior to the project moving forward.
Answering these questions, here's my response. And my take on this meeting. It is kind of disconcerting, at least for me, that we're proposing to, we propose to have this special meeting within 24-hour notice, but given the importance of what we have to take care of vis-a-vis the state budget process, I don't feel that we have a lot of choices. And for me personally, as an affordable housing advocate, to think that several $100 million of affordable housing community redevelopment agency money would be lost to the city of Los Angeles is just unthinkable. So on that basis, I feel that even with some reservations about the process, that I must support the staff recommendation.
One additional thing, we believe we have the obligation of allowing the city and the city council to make this decision. So our action today is certainly not final. It's merely making a recommendation to the city that they consider this as an option for the very reasons that Commissioner Ling has stated on the affordable housing front, on the job creation front, and on the commitments we have made to our communities and to our PACs and to our CACs.
Projects represents a lot of work that's been carried, that's been proposed and agreed on by many people throughout the city, and there's a chance that it will all be stopped in a sort of arbitrary and draconian manner. So I hope that our vote here today, if we pass this, will be to allow debate and to allow the community to have a say on whether or not these projects can go forward or not.